Hello then folks, welcome back to Benny DFM. On today's episode we have lots and lots of transfer business to get through. This year I genuinely feel like we can compete with Shakhtar Donetsk. Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the Kings of Kiev. I'm Ben, and coming up on today's episode we meet all of our new transfers and those that have left alongside playing Shakhtar Donetsk in the Super Cup. And of course, if you do like today's episode, then please do drop a like down below for me. Subscribe to the channel and make sure that those notification bells are turned on so you can keep up to date with when new episodes of this series are dropping. But without further ado, it is time to go and meet those transfers. First things first, as you can see, we've had a great pre-season. We have played one league game in between as well against Dynamo. We beat them 4-1. So we're looking pretty good, and that is because we have had a bit of a revamp of the team. As you can see, £13.75 million worth of player has left the club. That includes Clayton, DePena, DeLund, and probably the biggest name on this list is Thomas Gadara. He's gone to Norwich, a lot of them going to English clubs. But if we do just switch back one season, you can see that Viktor Zigankov, yes, Viktor Zigankov has left Dynamo Kiev. He's gone to Tottenham. We got £15 million for him. It was almost, well, it wasn't almost, it was forced out of the club. He came to me. There were offers coming in for him that weren't quite enough, sort of 10 million around that margin, and he came and said he wanted to leave. He was a team leader in the dressing room. It started to affect dynamics. We agreed with him that we'd set an asking price of 15 million, and then that's what we got. So in the end, we were able to get him out the door and not hamper our dynamics too much. And with the money, we've reinvested a little bit. There's still probably a few more signings I like to make, but we've bought 4 in, the first of which is this chap, Felipe Jonathan. He's a Brazilian left back who will provide some really good competition for Michaelenko on the left hand side of the defence. He looks like a really solid option. Michaelenko last year was a little bit in and out form wise, so hence why we bought him in, but he's just pretty well rounded. Nothing stands out either way, so he is coming for 7 million from Brazilian team San. And the other person in as well in the midfield, also from South America, is Fausto Vela, an Argentinian 21-year-old. He is basically going to provide us with that third decent centre midfielder to go alongside the likes of Shaparenko and Agate in the midfield. He can play as a deep line playmaker either in the centre of midfield or of course in the defensive midfield role. He is currently away on international duty with the under-20s with Argentina, so we won't see him today, but again, he already looks like he's a really, really good player. He's only going to improve at 21 as well, and he came in from Argentinos Juniors to us for a fee of 5.25 million, which will rise to 6.25 million. The best signing of the lot, though, the replacement for Viktor Zigankov, is this guy, wonder kid, Adam Holozek. His pace acceleration is unbelievable. His flair is really good as well. He is a really, really, really well-rounded player. He's already one of the best players in our team. He can play on the left or right or up front if required. He came in for around 7.25 million. He's here for a couple years as well. So again, a replacement straight away for Zigankov, which I felt like we needed. There's probably one more that we need to get in that position just to provide some competition to Verbic and Holozek. But we have obviously got Tshashvili as well, who can play on the right. But this guy is looking like he's going to be the real deal for us. And the final one, a bit of an odd one. Burden looks like he's going to force his way out of the club. So Scott McKenna has come in for £5 million from Nottingham Forest. The only centre-back, really, that was interested in coming to us. He's a Scottish international, 24 years old. Again, he's just going to provide some competition. We are looking to get another centre-back in if we can. He's got the potential to get a little bit better. Popov is obviously going to be our main man at the back. He just needs a fairly decent partner. He's pretty well-rounded. He's not a bad player at all. He's just not one of the big names that you would probably expect for us to be purchasing. But that is all. So all in all, we've spent £10 million as such, more than we've sold, but we have also obviously got the Zigankov money. So financially, we're looking okay. 19 million still in the budget and 409,000 wage budget, which we're only spending around 370 of committed wise. So we've probably still got a bit of room to play with there as well. But let's see. We have got Shakhtar. I mean, what a game to start Season 2 with. Shakhtar Donetsk in the Super Cup. The test to see if this squad that we've built, we've reduced it down a bit. We brought in some names. Is it good enough to compete this year? We will find out straight away. And the 11 that we're going with is this one. Luan Poli in goal. A back four with Timchik, Berda, Popov and Michalenko. Agate, Shepelev and Shapalenko are in the midfield with Holozek on the right, Verbic on the left and Artem Besedin in the striker role. One thing I should point out, Timchik is now our only recognised right back. So that is a position we're definitely looking to bring in. Guadara had a release clause in his contract that was met by Norwich. Hence why he left and we couldn't really do anything about it. So yeah, that is one spot that we are really, really looking to fill. If we could get a really decent right back, I think the defence is sorted. The midfield is definitely sorted. We just probably need another winger potentially. And maybe someone to compete fully with Besedin and Amreli. Both of them are fairly decent striking options. But if we could get a really, really world-class goal scorer, then I think the Ukrainian League will be us. And I'm expecting this to be more even than last year. We obviously got absolutely thrashed both times by Shakhtar last time round. They're dominating the ball, but we're using it quite well. So hopefully we can see our first ever victory as Dynamo Kiev manager over Shakhtar Donetsk. And of course, if we do win today's game, we will also pick up our second piece of silverware. This is, I believe, well, it must be, the Ukrainian Cup winners in ourselves against last year's league winners in Shakhtar Donetsk. So as I say, hopefully we can get going. And for some reason, the match speed between highlights has slowed right down. But we'll crank it up. We'll crank it up and we'll get moving. Let's go and see. I mean, can we? Surely we can. Look at this. We're not having much of the ball, but we are using it really well. And as I say that, there is our first highlight. Marquinos, Cipriano and Stepanenko play it well between each other. But Verbic slots in it. Besedin, we've scored our first goal of the game. We're pressing high. We're going really attacking this year. Pushing high up the pitch, putting teams under pressure, and that's what's worked here. Stepanenko under a little bit of pressure. It's an awful ball. Verbic quickly into Besedin, who's found a gap between the two defenders, and he's popped it into the bottom corner of the goal, and we're 1-0 up. And despite the possession being in their favour, it is, you have to say, deserved. And can we break here? I mean, that's a great save from Lampoli. A great effort as well, I may add, from Stepanenko. That's their first shot on goal, though, I believe, as the flares are now off in the crowd, look, in the Shakhtar end. And we got a chance to break again, but it's obviously cut out. Their first chance, then, of the game was that long-range effort. It has to be said, despite the possession being all in Shakhtar's favour, we have dominated this first half. We're going to go out there and say that we believe they've got what it takes to win. We have got one hand on this trophy. If we can repeat that performance with a little bit of focus, then we're in. Michalenko to Verbic. Is this a second? Holozek for his first goal in a Dynamo Kiev shirt. And this is our year. Oh, I've said it really early. Oh, gosh. Oh, I'll take it back. I can edit it out. I won't edit it out. Verbic with a great ball. Holozek at the back post. It looks like we can compete with Shakhtar Donetsk, ladies and gentlemen. We now just have to hold on. We're going to drop a little bit of praise, because this has been a really, really solid performance from the boys. Verbic struggling for a bit of fitness, so let's get him off. What we'll do, we'll switch Holozek over. This is where it's really good for him. He is so versatile on either wing, and we'll get Shashvili on in his place on that right-hand side for Verbic, who is struggling for fitness. The player that we saw just turn it on in one of these games last year. Shaparenko can come off as well. We've got Sidorchuk sat waiting on the bench for him. Do we do Agate or Shepelev? Both. That's easy. Talax for Agate, Bielski for Shepelev, and I think that leaves us with one sub to make later on in the day. I think when it gets to 10 minutes to go, we're just going to praise the boys again, because this has been a solid performance. We are just now going to shut the door on this. So we're going to go to a more balanced mentality. We're going to drop to a lower and shorter tempo. Just keep the ball. We are going to hit the early crosses. We are also going to regroup a bit more. Slow the pace down. Let's whack the time wasting up as well, actually. I forgot about that one. And We're going to stick with this though, because defensively we've done quite well around that. That will do. We're just going to shut the door, hopefully now, on Shakhtar Donetsk. Just keep the ball for 10 or so minutes. And if we can, it has to be said that this has been an exceptional Dynamo Kiev performance. And it looks like we're doing exactly what I wanted us to do. No highlights in the last 10 minutes. Dynamo Kiev are Super Cup champions in Ukraine. But more importantly, we have finally beaten Shakhtar Donetsk. I think, 4 times we've played them now? We have finally beat them. And here I go. I'm going to pass the trophy on. I think that's Berda. He's going to lift it high into the air. And the pyrotechnics are going to... I mean, how long does it take to trophy lift? There we go. Dynamo Kiev are the Super Cup champions. The confetti comes down. And that is a very, very pleasing first game of the season against Shakhtar Donetsk. That gives me a lot of confidence that potentially this year we can really, really compete at the top of this league. And we will find out in between this episode and the next one. We will be back. We'll play through all of August until this area. We'll come back around Olympic D, Lviv and Klonomerz. Of course, that may change depending on our Champions League qualification stage rounds, how we get on in those. But fingers crossed, we will be back around the end of August and there will be a continuation of this sea of green that we're seeing in between. But for now, I hope you have enjoyed today's episode and our victory over Shakhtar Donetsk. And if you have, please leave a like down below for me. Subscribe to the channel for more Football Manager videos. And thank you all for coming along and watching.